Denmark is the sovereign country, but as I mentioned, under an agreement going back to 1951, it gives the United States the right to station troops and have military facilities in Greenland. The United States at the moment has chosen to do that at a very, very low level with just one single radar station with 150 American troops. So certainly, without having any sort of new treaties or agreements being signed, Denmark and the United States could negotiate an increase in that US presence, for example, building extra radar stations, constructing airfields so that aircraft could land quickly, improving port facilities for the deployments of more military ships, having more frequent exercises in Greenland to show the ability to reinforce the place. For example, a crisis situation, and the Europeans also would play their part in all of that. So, Denmark, of course, would welcome that. Is not trying to keep NATO forces out. Quite the contrary, would welcome more to go there. Having said that, I think for the Danes and for Europe, it would be a big diversion of limited military capabilities at a time when they really are needed. For example, for European participation in a Ukraine peacekeeping force or reassurance force, which the Europeans have been discussing to give Ukraine security guarantees if a peace agreement can be found, or defending NATO's eastern flank. So I think that the Danes and the Europeans, while wanting to show goodwill towards President Trump vis-a-vis Greenland, have got to be careful that it doesn't become an expensive sideshow, locking down on a number of very expensive, high capability military forces sitting in Greenland when they are much, much more needed in Eastern Europe, in the Black Sea, in the Baltic, in the Eastern Mediterranean, and of course to help Ukraine. So a difficult balancing act, but of course it's important to keep the United States in the alliance, and Europe is good at balancing acts. So that's where Denmark and the Europeans have to work together and try to persuade the Americans.